games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you, I know to me, that's just the way it is.
Boom.
Biddly boat. Yes, yo. Here we go. There ain't nobody down round here, although knackered is the state of play. What's good, everybody? You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. Oi, what's going on? Evening, Jack, evening, crew. Yes, War Piglet. How are we? What's popper-lopping? What's cracking? Yes, Richard Todd. Have we got a new keeper yet, for fuck's sake? They seem to be holding on to this Trafford hype, don't they? Delaying it ever so slightly. I do want to talk about Trafford, to be fair. Have you seen all the nonsense that's gone on? Mainly, I know we always talk about TalkSport and stuff, but it is obviously a massive outlet, in it, where people find all their news from TalkSport, and it is, you know, it's designed to irritate people, I think. But I watched quite a lengthy, well, it's not lengthy, but different people talking about the 40 million for Trafford, and I saw like Adepolli or whatever he's called, and they were talking about like how 40 million, how the game's gone mad and that. I think with the amount of money that's spent on like other players, 40 million for James Trafford, who I do think that's a lot of money in the grand. Obviously, in my world, in the grand scheme of things, it's a lot of money. But I don't know what can you get for anything now. You can't get Jiminy Cricket, can you? So 40 million to me, and they sort of admitted that he's probably going to be the next England number one. So he's going to be the next England number one. But 40 million is a stretch to pay. It's a big amount of money, but what would you anticipate you'd get for 40 million? I think the one, you know, and he also went to Man City as their number one. And I know he was a little bit shaky, to be fair, when his first couple of games for him. But, you know, they did say they'd have to sort of give him a bit of time. But it's mainly him being on ball, that, isn't it? I think as a goalkeeper, as a shot stopper, or as a centre forward, as we've joked about, he's the best in the world, isn't he? That's a joke. But, yeah, I don't really know what you'd get for 40 million. I mean, we paid 16 million for Perry, and he's definitely not 16 million worth. So, you know, we've tried to be shrewd in that sense. He's a Premier League goalkeeper, I'd say. Do you deny that? And it'd be mint to see him actually get over the line, because at the moment, you know, where are we going? Yes, indeed. It's nailed on as possible. Just needs to finish his holiday for the medical. No rush. He literally can't touch a ball until the 8th or 9th. We are moving Perry. City are signing a number 2, and literally everyone who knows anything on the planet says it is done, says 78 RPM. All I would say, though, 78 RPM, is until it is over the line, it's never over the line, is it? I do agree, that being said, you know. It's widely... There is nobody suggesting it isn't. Or everybody on TalkSport saying it is. Every single pundit, every single whatever they're called, you know, the Romanos of the world, they're all saying it's done. And it's, to be fair, it's never really been out of contention, has it? It's the whole way through the transfer. It has been that he's been keen on the move. So, yes, War Piglet. I'm going to watch it, War Piglet. I'm not 100% certain whether or not I'll be doing a watch along, because I just want to chill out, man. Honestly, I've not been doing any shit vids or whatever, which I do want to get back on board with. But I'm just, to be honest, I'm exhausted. You know, I don't feel like I've got a fucking minute to have a sleep. So, yes, all boxed up. Hello, Jack and the magnificent chat. Leeds, and you know it. And don't you forget it. And you know it, all boxed up. Appreciate you, man. Has Jack excluded himself from the transfer rumour mill? 2 signatures on paper, and it's a lot of content. Will they, won't they? I won't say I've excluded myself from it, Roger Slicker, but I've not been in the rat race. That much is apparent. I just can't be bothered right now, man. Truth be told, Roger Slicker, I have said forever that I only do it for fun. So if I'm not enjoying it, or if I don't have time for it, I want to be able to put my all and most into the videos and stuff, and actually, you know, enjoy putting them out. But I'm focusing on other stuff at the minute, so... But the quick ship vids will be back, I would imagine. To be honest, I just want to watch some football. Like tonight, I'll be watching the game. If I don't do a watch along, I'll definitely do a reaction to it, you know, in the morning. not a reaction to the game, because obviously I don't think friendlies need to be relied on too much, although I do think they're a little bit more important than people make out. I don't think you want to be getting pumped in every game. I do think it's good to get some wins under your belt, just for general, like, you want to feel like you're cruising through a little bit. Maybe not such a bad thing that Wrexham beat us, just on basis that, it gives us a bit of a kick up arse and say, like, come on lads, let's not, get a bit complacent here. We had a strong enough team out, didn't we, to beat him, had enough chances and stuff. So yeah, I just want to watch them play tonight, and we'll go from there, won't we? Quick Ship Vids will be back in the morning for football-related stuff rather than bullshit-related stuff. We can do, we can make the bullshit up as we go, can't we, over here? So we don't even need content to make bullshit up. Nobody do it how we does it. Totally understand 78, but it's just a Leeds thing to agree play the biggest transfer fee for the club, and it takes 2 or 3 weeks to announce it, or sorry, he's going somewhere else. And then we get the we tried our hardest, don't we, Richard Todd? Yes, BMG, what's good, big man? How are we? Eddie Howe or Daniel Farke says, honestly, and given this team, I think Howe would get the best out of this team, and we'd finish in the top 5 Premier League places. That worthy of a poll, Farke out. That's ludicrous, considering that, you'd have to argue that Eddie Howe had a better squad than Leeds last year with Newcastle, and they didn't do that. I actually like Eddie Howe and Newcastle, and I think there's a bit of an argument. I think you could argue either way. Eddie Howe's probably pinches it a little bit in Farke just for how long he's done it in Premier League, but I think, given Farke the time, I think he will achieve great things at Leeds United. So I'm proper team Farke. The reason why I put that as the title, although there's a bit of clickbait involved, there is on Twitter, there is plenty of people saying Eddie Howe, and he's on about taking a break. So, and I don't want to predict the future, but when we lose 3 or 4 games on bounce and we have a bit of a hiccup, and all content creators and everybody start coming for Farke, it will be the Eddie Howe shout. And, I don't think Eddie Howe would want to come to Leeds, really. I think he'd be seeing what happens with England job, to be honest. I think he does want a break from stuff, from what it sounds like. No, we're here. We're here all boxed up. Fear not, we are here. Yes, Simon, be well, sir. Oi, oi. If you're on your holiday, would you jump on a plane, fly back, sign a form, put on a shirt for a few photographs and fly back, or would you appreciate being able to finish your holiday? I'd appreciate being able to finish my holiday. That being said, if I were moving to a new club, it'd be extremely high on my priority list to be there or be square, to get in front of fans and stuff and say I'm here. I think with all the money these boys get, I think they can cut their holiday a little bit short. But I don't know what your thoughts on it are, sir, but I do err on the side of, who gives a shit about your holiday? They get plenty of holidays, don't they? Have a pretty good life. So I think really you could just fly over and say, can I go back and finish my holiday? But, they've got a deal, haven't they? It's better for general team morale, and, some mental health will probably come into it, or some bullshit that he needs time off, even though he hasn't played many games for Man City. I think there is a bit of an argument where you'd think you want to get straight back into it. Would be good to see DCL playing in the morning's friendly. It certainly would, Alan Clark. I'm hoping for a good performance, especially from my best mate Longstaff. If he can keep it in top bins, brother. Are you scouting, Brett? The underlap is now turning into the over late lap. I know, Richard Todd, we've been running a bit behind. But here we go. Simon B. Wells, what's good, big man? The 4 for this weekend's 11, boys, is... Our case is simply this. This week's 11. Number 1, family, dynasty. Number 2, injury-ended career. Mouse has died. Something wrong, mate. I need to sort my mouse out. Surname not on shirt, which is a good one. And many hairdos. Change the name of it there. I've gone doos with the double O. BMG. Change the name of it there to play psychological games so that there's potential changed hairdos, rather than frequently changed hairdos. Or stylies we went with. Certainly not. Not yet. No. Daniel Farke, without a doubt, says Joe Depp. Eddie Who, love it. Eddie Who, love it. Joe Depp. We'll do a poll once we've got the 11 sorted. We'll get a poll going for in and on and over who's here. Yes, AO, thank you very much, dude. There's 57 in the room and we have 26 likes. We hit 100 likes last week, didn't we? I believe we got 101 likes. So the dildo, which is a mirror image, so it's so hard to work out where stuff is when I'm looking at myself, back to front. It's that feels like my right, and do you know what I mean? But to me, it's but anyway, the dildo, I've just done it again. The dildo has been revealed, and you know it, AO. You forced me to get it out. I appreciate you. Harley 200, hi, Jack. Love you, mate. Unfortunately, I've lost my granddad. I was at his 80th birthday on the 19th of May, and he passed on the Tuesday. He was a legend, but he was watching over me and Sunday for my football. Terrible, Harley. I hope you're all right, brother. It's awful when your grandma and granddad, or anybody obviously in your family, passes on. But I hope you're all right, man, and I hope we can. Put some love in the chat for Harley. Harley always comes up with some of the funniest comments of the evening. So, but yeah, I feel for you, Harley, and I'm sure you smashed it. I'm sure you smash it every Sunday anyway, brother. There'll be no messing about. Harley, the big CDM, controlling the game. Good first touch, out of his feet, spraying balls about. I'm sure your granddad would be extremely proud of you, dude. So, good man. I hope you're all right. And the underlappers will be here for the duration, for the future, man. Shout out to Harley 200. Give Harley some love in the chat. Yes, Peter White, what's good, big man? Hey up. Surname not on shirt means players who have their first name or nickname on their shirt rather than their actual surname, just pick the Brazilian teams, to be fair. There we go, Joe Depp. Get some love in there for Harley. Condolences for Harley, yes indeed. I played really well and the lads actually respect me now. Not that that matters, but it's nice to be valued as a player. My granddad normally came to watch me every week, upsetting times. But love you, Jack, lad. Well, I hope you're all right, Harley, honestly. It's awful. It really is. It's awful. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than what I've said, Harley. We appreciate you, brother. And keep smashing balls about. Keep smashing balls about while you're young, Harley. While you're young. While you can, mate. And make the most of it. Yeah, keep moving, Harley. You're a good lad. Top man. Everybody whack some love in for Harley. War Piglet, did you sign out in another chat as night badgers? I hope so, Luke. I hope so. That sounds sensational. Simon B. Wells says 40 million is a bargain. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on a bargain, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's hard to argue. I still can't get my head around saying 40 million's a bargain. But I know what you're saying, Simon B. Wells. I don't know what you'd buy. He's definitely of a standard. There's no risk involved with him, I believe, I think he'll drop a couple of bollocks this year, potentially, where he makes a couple of big mistakes. But I don't know what else we'd get for 40 million. And how old is James Trafford? He's by no means an old boy, is he? A young lad. He's 23. Do you know what I mean? You're getting 10 years out of him, obviously, if he's at the level. I mean, I think that the likelihood is he's probably using as a bit of a stepping stone, as many of the players that we'll potentially and hopefully sign. We're in a catch-22, aren't we, where we want to be the stepping stone for players, really, on the basis of where we're at, unless we can actually have a little bit of a charge. I mean, if we get Brandt in and stuff, I think everybody's going a little bit over the top with Brandt, suggesting that we're just totally transformers. But I keep forgetting we've signed Harry Wilson and stuff. It's brilliant signing. We know exactly where we're at with him. He's for the here and now, isn't he? And James Trafford is a young lad who will only get better. Certainly hope so. He's better than everything we've got. He's better than Darlow. And he wants to play first team football. Man City signed him as their number one, and then they ended up signing Donnarumma, who is, well, not arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world, because he is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, if not, I won't say he's the best goalkeeper in the world, but I think there's some pretty stern competition for best goalkeepers in the world. Have a quick look how this poll's getting on. It's dead even with surname not on shirt, 29%, and injury ended career, 29%. Many hairdos is actually climbing for once. It's on 24%. And Family Dynasty's on 19%. So if we can get another vote in on here, guys, then I can close the poll and we can get the 11 flying. So I want to get cracker lacking. I want to get the Eddie Howes in the chat. Jack got the Sunderland away shirt on. No, I don't. War Piglet, don't worry. It is my mate Joe Lister. We had a charity match for him at the end of last year in November. It was 20 years since he died. So I've got my man's t-shirt, got my man's footy top on. Joe Lister. Shout out to Joe Lister. We're making a big mistake signing Trafford, says AO. This will be his controversial comment of the day, I would imagine, as we're going to box ourselves into a corner, as there would only be a handful of clubs who could buy Trafford and pay his wages, and it'd be a tough sell. I don't think it would, AO, when we start pushing forward, when we start climbing up the league, hopefully. I don't think it will be a tough sell. I think, some top clubs had come in for him. I think he's probably had... I think it's a bit of a steal, to be honest. I can't believe... I think we've done really well. I don't want to say until it's absolutely... I know RPM's not having any of it, but if it's not... Until I literally see him playing, or certainly, with a shirt in his hand, it does panic me a little. It don't panic me, because as you know me, I'm not going to panic over whether we are or not signing a player. But there were a lot of talk like Perry out first, and then it'll be, and then he said fucking Darlow then, and then it'll be Trafford in. So I don't know how much truth there is in that or whatever. Yeah. Jiminy Cricket, explain the analogy. I do not know what you mean, Roger Slicker. A lot of Newcastle fans, probably the majority, are glad to see the back of Howe. I don't know about the majority, BMG, to be fair. I think there's like every fan base. The loudest tend to be just that, don't they? Tend to be the biggest complainers, tend to be the loudest people, don't they? I think the majority of Newcastle fans are probably really happy. I don't think they're happy where the club's going right now, but when's a Newcastle fan base online ever been happy? Because, they've moaned about absolutely every chairman they've ever had, every manager they've ever had. So I don't think it's a... I think the majority of Newcastle fans surely view Eddie Howe's time as a good time at the club. Because if not, I kind of get bored of like the how short football fans, particularly online or mainly online, how short the memory is. Because it was only 3-4 years ago where they was pissing and moaning about Newcastle and they were up and down. They're in relegation battles. Granted, they weren't great last year, but Eddie Howe's been moved on. And why you can't just sort of tip your hat to someone, even if you didn't like them. If Farke's to leave next year, or if he's to get sacked or whatever, it'll all err on the side of like it's about time. We were never good enough at this level. It'll all be like negativity rather than just going, he's gone. Do you know what I mean? Shut the fuck up. He's out the door. Cool your jets, as Keane would say. Tip your hat to him and go, you've been awesome, mate. I wish you every single success, but it's very rare online, and maybe I go as far to say in society nowadays. So I'm going to close the poll, guys. 28 votes. We have surname not on shirt. That has won on 29%. Injury ended career is 25%. Family Dynasty is 25%. And many hairdos always propping up the bottom with 21%. So surname not on shirt. We've got to make an 11 out of players that have no surname on the shirt, boys. Harley, when you lose someone who is like a father figure, it hits you like a ton of bricks, honestly broken. You just got to try hang in as much as you can, Harley, and, get round your best mates, get round your, people that you love, and it does get easier. It does get easier, sir. We appreciate you, Ali. 40 million for the second best goalkeeper in the country. Who's the first, Joe Depp? Donnarumma? Because it'd have to be Donnarumma. If it's not Donnarumma, then, where do we go? Because he's second to Donnarumma, isn't he? So, and there's Alisson. Who else is good in Prem? I mean, Trafford's not only the second best goalkeeper in the world, in the country. He's probably the best outfield player in the world. Who is better? Dr. Farke, or Eddie Howe? I thought that might be a controversial comment of the day, AO. We've got there. Mings not having none of it. Took him twice, say beer. That's how livid he was. 40 million for Trafford is pricey, but have you seen how much shiny things cost nowadays, for fuck's sake? Can't get penny sweets anymore, can you, Richard Todd? So, you're nearly spending a 40 million and you go to fucking Tesco for crate of beer and some cheese. It's like, not that, that's not that would be my shopping list. Crate of beer and some cheese. But I do like beer and I like cheese, so maybe it would be that. But you know me, and if you don't know by now, you never knew. But I'm more of a sausage man, I'm more of a chipolata. And more recently, while the weather's been nice, we've been barbecuing shit. We're making chicken skewers and whatnot. Cooking fish on the barbecue, man. Got a bit of it all. But yeah, 40 million is pricey for anything, innit? If you bought anything for 40 million, you'd lay an egg. I mean, if I saw 40 million, I think I'd kill myself. If I had 40 million, I'd be dead. I think I'd be dead. But that aside, when I mean, he was in the England squad, wasn't he? And I do think he's better than Pickford, to be fair. I think if he'd have played this season, I mean, I thought Pickford had a poor tournament. But if he'd have played this season in the World... If he'd have played for Man City, he'd have played in the World Cup this season. I'm going to go as far to say that. Because I think there'd have been a bit more competition for Pickford's place. But I think it felt like a bit of a bigger risk when he's not played a great deal of minutes. But, they won a... Did they get a double this year, Man City? And he played in the cup games, didn't he? So... my man knows what day it is. 40 million for the future England number one who will surpass T-Rex arms. And you know it, Ali 200. Ming's right behind it. 100% he's coming for his spot, mate. Hi, mate. Look after yourself first. Thank you very much, Awimbawe. I'm hoping that's towards me, mate, after my little moan at the start. I hope I wasn't moaning, to be fair. I'm not a moaner. A bemoaner. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. I would say better than ever, but it'll just be the same as always. 40 million is a lot, but if he lives up to his promise, it's good value. This is where I'm at, BMG. Yeah, and I find it hard to see how he won't. That's the thing. Evening roll on start of season. These weekends aren't the same. Dave Marwood, I could not agree any more, brother. I genuinely can't wait to watch them tonight. I'm just bang up for it. It's relaxing. Especially the friendlies. I mean, I don't get nervous about England, about Leeds playing big games, and that. I love it. It's all part of it. I get excited about it. There's zero nerves whenever we're going into a game, but certainly in pre-season. Pre-season's really fun to me. I just think, proper just get involved and sit back, chill out, and just have a look and see what Dr. Farke's up to. Obviously, I don't want to lose them games, but... BMG. Hey up, Jackie boy. Yes, Dazzler 15. Would love to think this one club City would SCC out and generate top young talent like the good old days. Great to see investment. Remember the days of Milner, Cook, Lennon, etc. Do remember them days indeed, Dazzler 15. Slightly concerned that it's falling away from football in general, isn't it? But me and my brother joke about this all the time, but Leeds is a big city that, every young lad really, unless they've got a shit dad who supports Man U or something, and even then I think you can still convert them to be a Leeds fan. They want to play for the club, don't they? So it seems incredible to me that we don't have more sort of young talents that do get the way through. I know it's swamped and it's big risks for managers to take, isn't it? And I think you have to be 16, 17, you have to be so much better than a 24-year-old. They're just unwilling to take the risk, which is why I'm bothered about if Saudis or when Chinese tried to do it when they're trying to buy all best players and that. Send them there. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to follow players to foreign countries, to foreign leagues. I don't care. Support Leeds, and I'll watch Leeds if we're in the Championship or if we're in the Premier League and there's no De Bruyne's anymore hanging about. I know De Bruyne's gone, but you catch my drift. Some of the better European players, they can all go. And if they're poached every time, then it just gives young lads opportunities, doesn't it? Gives our lads opportunities, doesn't it? And then we might do better in tournaments, England tournaments. Roger Slicker says, losing 4-3 to a waning Newcastle side last season was a sickener. That was Perry's death nail. I thought you'd be one of Perry's fans, to be fair, Roger Slick. Can confirm that Dr. Farke, after 29 votes, has 86% of the vote, and Eddie Howe only has 14%. And that is where I'm living, boys. Newcastle lost 17 games with a far more expensive squad than ours. Agreed, BMG. Exactly my thoughts, brother. Oi, oi! The Right Reverend Wright. What's good, big man? Who be this cheeky ickle ting? JackCity boy. Appreciate you, the Right Reverend Wright. Welcome. Steve Morrison, according to a player on the chase today, Nottingham Forest is a national park. What an answer and what a legend. And I actually hope, Steve Morrison, that he knew it was a football club. But you can't argue with it, with a national park. That's all they're known for, mate. Owimbawe says, been off these comments from little kids who know note yet. I'm sure they've never even played Sabutio. That was harder. Sabutio, what's that in comparison to the Owimbawe? But Sabutio was, I didn't have patience for Sabutio. I didn't understand rules. And I think if we're all honest as kids, nobody played Sabutio properly. I know there'll have been 0.5% of people that played Sabutio, but I think really you just got the nets out and you just it was just like a weird game of tiddlywinks, wasn't it? I thought we didn't do clickbait on this channel. No, we don't, BMG. We certainly don't. There's hundreds of hours worth of evidence and hundreds of titles. You're more than welcome to flick through and you find me where the clickbait is, because you won't find it over here. That is for certain, BMG. Howe needs a holiday, says Simon B. Wells. I actually agree. I actually think, in the new day, I think it enhances managers' reputations when they go on little breaks. I honestly do. I think when they go straight into new clubs, look at big fucking silly Ange. He's ended up in Saudi, hasn't he? I genuinely think it aids managers to, try and do the best to leave on their own will, which Eddie Howe sort of has, and then go on a break. Stayed up last night for Wrexham game. Still went to work 8 a.m. Now ready to do it all again. All Leeds out. We marched on together. Love it, Lukey boy. Absolute beast mode. Absolute beast mode. All the hate Farke from day one. Wankers will crawl out of the sewer again. 78 RPM. Ain't no doubt about it. They are on the way back out. They can't wait. They're not even fully under the rock. You can still smell the scent, brother. You can still smell the scent. We haven't even kicked a game in anger this season yet. And you can smell the little fiends all desperate and waiting for him to fail. Some rate Eddie Howe, but some think he lacks charisma. I quite like how he is, Roger Slicker, I like how he's impressed. He never seems particularly rattled and that. I think he's quite respectful. He's obviously an excellent coach. I don't think anybody would deny that, to be fair. I think, he's proved for years that, with shit clubs and with the better club, Bournemouth, he did excellent things with until they eventually got relegated, but that was always written in the stars, really, wasn't it? And they, everybody likes Bournemouth now and says they're decent, but they will be going down again in the next 5 years. They will have a shit season soon. I'd never rule them out. I'd never rule them out of having a poor season. I've never ruled anybody out of having a poor season, but there's levels to this, isn't there? Never been keen on Eddie Howe, says Joe Depp. I'm here for it. It's the fire beast. It's Dr. Farke and the medics, Lukey boy. And you know it. And don't you forget it. Appreciate you. We would walk from anywhere to sign for Leeds, but they are not us. No, I know Ming, but I'm saying for the... you want about Trafford there? I don't. Once you've sort of said you're signing, I would want to get on with it as a professional footballer, as in any job really. I'd want to I'd want to show my face genuinely. DCL signed on the 14th of August and Okafor was even later. Don't panic, we ain't pussies, man. Man up and swing your Leeds balls. Are you talking to me there, 78 RPM? You having a dig at me there? I ain't panicking, mate. I couldn't give a shit who we bring in. And I couldn't give a shit how much we spend either. I just, I want the club to be successful. Do you actually think Longstaff was unlucky with his injury last season and could play a big role this season? I do think that, BMG, yeah. I think we could have got a lot more out of him, and I think he lost his place in the squad due to his injury, and then struggled to get back into the side, because that is what Dr. Farke and the medics do, don't they? You get your chance. Everybody gets the chance at some point along in the season, and if you don't take your chance, you don't get inside. It's hard to get back in, and that's the nature of beast. That's the nature of the fire beast. I think it gives everybody confidence and belief to think, well, once I get my chance, if I take it, I'm in. Very rare does he drop players. It's only like in the mainstayers. And I've said this 100 times before, to be fair. Well, about not 100 times, about 10 times before. These things tend to work themselves out anyway. If you're a centre back and you've got 4 centre backs at club and you get injured, you're the main one in. You tend to find that one of them picks up an injury anyway. So if you're out for 6 weeks, you do the 6 weeks. You're 2 weeks in, so to being back available for the club. So you're in 8 weeks. Somebody picks up a niggle, or we've got 3 games in 9 days, and then the manager can rotate and make it look as though you've just sort of re-earned your place, rather than very rare that unless they're out for a week, then you go, well, no, whoever previously had come in, if Pascal got injured or whatever, somebody had come in, and you go, well, we'll just swap it back. It's only a week. But when it's a 6-week thing, I think he just sticks with it. And then Pascal, or I know he's gone now, but whoever picks up a niggle, back in the Lorente days when he was just getting injured every 10 minutes, it's like these things tend to work themselves out. So I don't think a decision is often needs to be made, which I once said on Joe's podcast, and then I got accused like sitting on the fence, but about a decision whether or not he's going to bring someone straight back in. But I just think that answers the question. So I hope this season is the Mags' turn to crumble. I hope this season is the Mags' turn to crumble out of the league. Bretty boy taking no mercy. Everton should get Howe. He's an Everton fan. Father took him to Goodison Park as a young man. That rhymes as well, Richie. I did not know that to be true. I don't want Everton to get Eddie Howe, though, I'll be brutally honest. Everton really get on my nerves, and I don't mind Eddie Howe, as I say. Charles has apparently stalled, but do you think he's even worth 25 million of our budget, says Steve Morrison. Fairly happy with our midfield option. Would rather save money for a striker and 1 or 2 wingers, says Steve Morrison. I've never been dead set on this Charles hype, dude. I think 25 million, this is kind of what I'm saying. If we're talking 40 million for Trafford, I know nobody in the chat has said that that's a rip-off, to be fair. But people are doing online, saying that it's a lot of money to pay. If you're paying 25 million for this Shea Charles fellow, I'm sure he's got a bundle of potential. I think it's a lot of money. I don't know. A lot of people really rate him, so I'm not ruling it out. But it all seems to be getting pissed around that. So I don't know. Farke has resurrected himself at Leeds for sure, but he's only 3 iffy games away from scrutiny. This is exactly right, Roger Slicker. And there's absolutely zero mercy for Dr. Farke. And really any manager at the club. I think Bielsa had a little bit. But ever since Bielsa, I don't think we've had a manager where people will sort of stand on him. Well, they'll step on him, but step over him like fucking Parag. I've got a poll for you, Jack. Would you rather be a human born with only 3 fingers but get 10 million from birth, or a human with 19 fingers but you get 6 million from birth? I'll do my best to put that into a poll. Can confirm that who is better. Dr. Farke, after 45 votes, has 82%. Get up. And Eddie Howe has got 18%. Love it. And then from that very football poll, we go straight into Harley's Would You Rather. I'm going to struggle to put this in because you don't get many letters. Born with 3 fingers, but get 10 mil. Or born with 19 fingers, but get 6 mil. You had to use every single digit there, Ali, but we got it done. BMG, what about 6 million fingers and 3 quid? I'd take it, Lukey boy. I'd never turn out down. Yes, Richie, lovely stuff. This is exactly where we're at, brother. Shout out to Harley. Condolences to you and all your family. And family. We get double down on the family there, Richie. Appreciate you, brother. Send some love to Harley, boy. Deserves it. I have never hid from never wanting Farke as our manager, and now Farke is being heavily backed. I am still not convinced we can win the league under Farke. Watch. I think what it is as well, AO, is it's setting realistic. I think we should set some realistic standards. I mean, truth be told, you know, as much as I think we've got a really competent manager in Farke, right? So I think if we had Man City money and, you know, we was willing to break all the rules, even though that's the first time I've ever said that about Man City, 'cause you're innocent until proven guilty. I think Farke would win the league. I think Farke's... I think once you've got a competent manager, I don't think it matters that much. You know, I think ultimately football's becoming more and more like F1, and if you've got the most amount of money, you know, you're likely to have, or if you've got the fastest car, you're likely to win the race, aren't you? So, winning the league is always going to be extremely difficult for any club that aren't Liverpool, Man City, Man United. I know Man United are hugely struggling, but they've still got the funds and the sort of backing to do so. I was hoping that'd hit them a little bit harder, not getting into Champions League football and that, but they seem to have just rode it out. Arsenal, Chelsea in times gone by, and you know they will come back again. I would say Tottenham, but they've no chance of winning out ever, have they? So, but yeah, I can't see us winning the league under Farke, mainly because I don't think we'll make the progression required in time to win the league. You know, what would you say? You know, Areola or whatever he's called, that's gone to Liverpool. He was never going to win the league with Bournemouth either, was he? So, but he's gone to Liverpool and now he's going to have a chance of winning the league, isn't he? So I think it's a little bit of an unfair assessment, AO, but you know, nobody do it how he does it. Stay strong, Harley. We are here for you, pal. Yes, Richard Todd, love it, mate. Sending the love to Harley. AO sending some love. Julie Neary sending some love. Richie, my man. Many hairdos, gets not much love, but I like it. I might go full dictator next week. No mercy, BMG. Do what you got to do, brother. Nobody do it how he does it. Jack, I'm on the highly touted Estrella Galaccio beer, 4.7. Love it, Roger Slick. Stay stuck in, brother. I'm partial. Harley getting the love from Leeds LUFC. Yes, indeed. BMG, the boss. Simon Bewell says, chin up, Harley. Your granddad did good and you will too. Love it, Simon. Easy now, Jack, man. Yes, Leeds. What's good? Marched on together. Geets up. The right, Reverend Right. This is what we like to see, boys. Plenty of love in the chat now for Harley. Loving it. We're all behind you, Harley, lad. The fucking governor. Top 10, Lukey, that'll do me. And you know it, Joe Depp. The fucking governor. You know that Fresh Prince meme of Will Smith in an empty living room? Is that Newcastle player going into training now, Steve Morrison? I know, it's a madness, isn't it? You know, it's rare that the manager jumps ship as well. I know he's not jumped ship, but, you know, was it a mutual agreement that they've sort of come to? Because Eddie Howe's put up with a lot of shit from last season again, and then I think he must. It's written in the stars where Newcastle are going at the moment, because it's a madness. You know, it just shows you that when Saudis have potential, because there's a lot of talk that they've had enough, and you know they don't give a fuck, do they? They could. The problem is with it, and like the positive that we're in with the 49ers, and I said the 79ers and the 69ers, we're in a positive position because they are businessmen, the Saudis and that in the government of Saudi Arabia, however it's run. You know, I know they try to suggest it's not the government that run it, but ultimately it isn't. It's somebody within it. They don't give a fuck about making money, do they? I know they want to, but my point being is, well, I don't know if they want to, you know, sports washing and all that stuff, but they'll just pull out. They couldn't give a fuck, could they, in the grand scheme of things? The 49ers, you know, are not as loaded as they are in comparison to us. They're not in positions where they can just go, oh, bleh, fuck it, just get rounds on me, do you know what I mean? Fuck it. Not that Saudis would be doing that either if they are, you know, if they practice what they preach. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot less riding on it for them. They can just do one. It's like, well, we lost a shitload of money, and they don't answer to anyone. It's not like they have to go like, oh well, this and that. That's why I'm surprised they haven't just gone for it and broke alt rules a little bit more, Newcastle, and just think, well, fuck it, what are you gonna do to us? Just tie you up in knots, a bit like Man City have. Gates up, War Piglet, love it, mate. Send the badges everywhere, brother. Appreciate you. Trafford is a needle mover. Love that, 78 RPM. Maybe the most important signing we make for a decade. And if you got 5 years out of him, you know, it'd be a remarkable turn, wouldn't it? Yes, Joe, Depp me old muck. Yes, Richie boy. Harley getting the love. If Trafford is good, he'll move on in a few years and we'll make profit. If he's average, he won't move. But I can't see him being rubbish. This is a good point, BMG. That's kind of what we're saying, isn't it? For 40 mil, if he's decent, you get 10 million. You get 10 years out of him. It's 4 million a year, isn't it? £3 a year. It basically works out at in 4 million to 49ers is £3 for me. So you know, £3 a year for Trafford if you get 10 years out of him if he's decent, and even if he ends up being your number 2 in 3 years, you think, well, fuck it, we've ended up with Donnarumma. You know, and he ends up being the number 2 again. But I don't think he will. So I think he's a lot better than anything we have. Well, we don't have anything now, to be fair. We've got Lurch and Cairns. But I think he's better than Darlow. I don't think anybody would argue that. I think we've got a bit ahead of ourselves with Darlow, haven't we, in reality? And to be fair, I know people go a bit over the top with he's gone to scum or whatever, and it's not ideal. But I'm not at that level with Darlow and with any of our players currently. It's not like Alan Smith and Rio Ferdinand and stuff like that. It's just not like that currently. It's sort of where we're at. I don't care that he's gone to Man U. As much as I'd rather he didn't, it's like I'd rather he stayed at the club and then, you know, we brought Trafford in and he becomes the number 2 and then suddenly we're really strong. But you can't really blame him, begrudge him the move, but I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I think we've gone a bit over the top with how good Darlow actually is. I don't think Darlow is that good. Do you know what I mean? I think we've had some absolute clangers, haven't we, for a few years now. Well, many years, you could argue, really. Who was the last proper decent goalkeeper we had? Like, properly decent, so... The many hairdos will make it in 1 week, BMG. It will make it in. Not this Alahara stuff again. He moved me from CDM to right back. To be honest, I prefer right back. If you're spraying balls about Ali, that's where you got all the freedom. Like Trent Alexander up in this bitch, aren't you? Just pinging balls about. And right backs don't have to defend anymore, Ali, so you're laughing, mate. Do a bit of both. You can drift in, can't you, while you're on balls, regardless what your manager says. Do you think Nonto will get more game time this coming season? I hope he does, but I think he needs to start converting his chances. He certainly needs to get back to what he was good at when we was last in the Prem. And by last in the Prem, I don't mean last year, I mean in general. I mean 5 years ago, whatever it was. When he's sort of getting at players a little bit more, being a bit more direct, and his decision-making seemed better. I don't know if it was more instinctive, and I don't want to be that guy, but like perhaps he's overthinking stuff ever so slightly now. You know, I know I've said it last year, but when Somerville left, we all thought Nonto would be a pretty decent... I don't think he'd ever be at Somerville's level in the Championship just because of how threatening he is on, you know, on counter and his speed and stuff and his quick feet. But Nonto's got plenty about him. But he didn't his decision making were poor, wasn't it? And it were like there was an extra touch when he should have just whipped the ball in, and then. But you only know this stuff. You know, like they say about strikers' chances, and like it's instinctive for strikers, isn't it? And when they start missing a few, if they start thinking about the finish, it's like anything, innit? When you're natural, they say give me a natural pose. You can't pose naturally. If you posing, it ain't natural no more. And that's kind of the same with like doing things instinctively, isn't it? And I feel like he lost touch with doing the instinctive right thing, and I felt like everything he was doing is when we was first in the Prem was all sort of off. I won't say impulse, but intuition, I think perhaps might be the word. Roger Slicker, sounds like we are pinning too much hope on Trafford. He may get us 6 places higher, but Farke could lose us 8 places. Well, that would still be a decent season, wouldn't it? If Farke lost us 8 places, but Trafford got us 6 places up, who gives a shit then? You know, it's not worth the risk, Roger Slick. Blame the missus that I'm stuck here. It's hell. I bet you're having an awful time, Aloha. Joe Depp. How do you think our fans would react if Trafford drops the Clanger first game? I'm hoping, Steve, this would be a real tester, wouldn't it, for the Leeds fan base, wouldn't it? If Trafford was to drop a bollock on the first game of the season, I'm hoping there would be some, I wouldn't say relaxation about the clanger, but I'm hoping they'd be like, hang on. We know he's a decent keeper. You know, I've got to say, the first minute I watched Perry, I just thought, oh no, this is bad. I knew it was bad. I knew we had Lurch on his hands. And people told me to wait, and I was like, he's Lurch. We've got Lurch on his hands. But I'm hoping there'd be a little bit more composure when it comes to Trafford, really, and we will see. I know, hopefully, Steve, hopefully he just doesn't. Hopefully he's clanger, because there will be a clanger. He's going to lose the ball. I don't think he's the best on the ball, is he? But he's a good keeper. And apparently, you know, he's best keeper in Wales, he saves penalties. Yes, Enar in the wings. What's good, big man? 8 million a year plus wages. If he saves like he has in the last 2 seasons, bargain. Simon B. Wells, love it, mate. Absolutely bang on, mate. Come on, many hairdos. It nearly got there. He now getting the love. Neck and neck in the pole, you know it. Joe Depp wanting the injuries. Spreading the love, boys. Love it. I'm surprised Liverpool or Arsenal didn't go in for Trafford. If he leaves and goes to Real Madrid next level up, in my opinion, not Man City. They did him dirty twice. He certainly won't be going back there, will he, Leeds? There'll be no buyback clause in his contract, will there? Because, you know, it is a bit mental what happened to him. But I think ultimately, well, I don't want to say would he have been good enough or not at Man City, because then that sort of jolts what I've been saying about him throughout the last hour. So, but, you know, really, was he at Man City level last year? I'm not so sure, to be fair. Because if he was, I think I don't know. I don't think he'd be coming to us. I don't know. I've just scared myself about James Trafford, actually, funnily enough. Nonso and James have 5 out of 10s every week. They need moving on, says Roger Slicker, at any cost. Sean Taylor, yes, what's good, big man? How he's burnt out at the moment. He will take a year off. I agree, Sean Taylor. And I think he's right to do so. I think his stock will rise. I watched True Geordie and he recognises Howe's impact but wanted him to go ages ago and claims that most fans did. True Geordie's a dick slap, BMG, so that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. This is the biggest clickbaiter in the space. 78 RPM. The Trafford deal is actually at the stage any fail now would bring legal action by whoever is aggrieved. No medical does not mean no watertight legally binding documents have been signed. 78 RPM's gone all legal on us. He's been watching the Chronic Texter. Van Dijk, is that in reference to the back of the shirt? Yes, Roger Slick, I forgot about the likes, brother. We are on 60, so we're doing all right here, 49 minutes in. We nearly got to 100 people watching a minute ago. So we could, and you know we're on that rotisserie, so if you could smash a like for us, guys, it'd be much appreciated. It massively helps the algorithm and all that stuff, and it actually makes me want to get up on a morning and not chuck myself out a window. And the worst thing about chucking myself out of my window, out the bedroom window would hurt, but I don't think it'd kill me. It'd probably just put me in hospital, you know, for a while. Or not a while, just a short visit, but I'd come home in a pot. Unless I landed like a cat, which I'm not ruling out, but there is a bit of a verge up to my grass if I jumped out. So I feel like that'd be the bit I'd land on and really do some like more like irritating damage that would just take me a long time to heal from, rather than like horrendous damage where you just think, even though that take a long time, you know, it's like, oh, it's a big one, this, you know, you really look after it. Whereas it'd be like, I'd just niggle back of my ankle or something, and it'd take me 3 years to, you know, go for a run again. And if I jumped out my bottom window, I don't even think I could. I think my legs are too long. I mean, I could sort of suspend myself on the window ledge and jump, but, you know, again, though, I think you can land funny from any height, can't you? Just ask Nikita, love, when I push you down steps. Steve Morrison, fair enough, Howe going, but they are replacing him with the German Marsh. I couldn't believe that when I saw that, Steve Morrison, to be fair. George Best. Did George Best not have his second name on shirt? Kelleher, and you know it. Kelleher and that. What's going on here? Do I not know the game? Billy Bremner didn't have his second name on shirt. What is going on here, boys? He didn't have his surname on the shirt. We'll have a lot of VARs, Jack. His Furpo one. Can't recall. I thought he had Furpo on. I'm going to be shit at this. I thought he had Furpo. Good day, my G's. Kaka. What's Kaka's actual name? What's Kaka's second name? Raoul would be mine. I think... fucking hell, Kaka is totally made up. But they all are, aren't they? I think we need to, unless we're struggling, we need to stay away from the Brazilians, I think. Because Kaka's name is Ricardo Lezexon dos Santos Light. And his nickname's Kaka. So it seems a bit, because you just go Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, Robinho, Kaka, Fred. I can't imagine his second name's actually Fred. Casemiro might be his second name. Neymar, although I think Neymar, it's Neymar Jr., isn't he? So that might be his name. There's too many of them, I think. Dunga, don't feel like that'd be his second name. So I think we need to steer away from the Brazilians potentially initially. But good shout though, Cletus, because Kaka's an absolute legend, isn't he? That Everton keeper was bought for 40 mil. No messing, Roger Slick. I can vouch, Jack's full of cheese. Cheese and bean, mate. Lamb chops and kidneys under the grill. It's not our money, so stop moaning. The 49ers have this. I hope you're not on about me, 78 happy. I feel like you're coming at me hardcore. The 11 excludes players who played before they had names on shirts, you dickheads. Understood, BMG. Is that where they're referencing to that? And BMG, if that was anybody else with that language, you would get a yellow card for that, but I will let you off because it's serious stuff. Simon B. Wells, if he were in goal in USA, we'd have smashed it. Simon B. Wells, no messing about. Does... What? Kelleher. What's Kelleher's name? No, he's called... Cocaine, whatever he says his first name. Odran Kelleher. That's his name. Quizmaster, you know it, Mingy. Yes, Leeds. Only reason Pickford number one is because Trafford's been on the bench. He was awesome for City in the Cups. Wait till he's playing every week for Leeds. He becomes number one for England. I agree, Leeds. And I think the time is now for him. He just needs to play. And I do think we'll be decent this season, so... It's Monopoly money, mate. It's Monopoly money where I'm going. Gdansk on Thursday as well, because 200 quid gets you £1,000, which, like, blows my mind. Now, I know you get there and, you know, your meal costs you 300 quid, but it doesn't, because that means it costs you 20 quid or whatever in reality, but that throws me so off kilter. You end up with either all them. I don't know how it breaks down into notes, but I'm just going to have to do it with just on card, I think, because I end up just getting I get tip happy. I get real tip happy, and I'm just like, oh, what, 300? Yeah, there's 350, and it says 4. I've only got 2 notes for 200. Tip 400. It's like you're tipping like a madman here, dude. You're not even thinking about what you're doing. Rodrigo M, and his last name is Moreno. Just asking the question. That's a perfect one. BMG. Trafford too small, says Richie. That's a new one. Now that Howe's left Newcastle, there will be 8 teams in the Prem with new managers this season. League could be wide open. Brett puts a lot of money on these managers. I'm behind it though, to be fair. There's a lot of movement there. With just Trafford and Wilson in our squad, we would have finished above Sunderland last season with ease. 78 RPM, no doubt on the big on the wind up to Big Brett there. Big City reads. Wild, I didn't know that, War Piglet. Jimmy would have been mint. I know nobody likes Hasselbank anymore, but that'd have been mint on his back, to be fair. That's first I've heard of it as well, BMG, to be fair. Mark says, Trafford wins us 3 to 5 games this season by stopping goals that other keepers won't. Well, we discussed this last week, Mark. Welcome, by the way. I don't recognise your name off the top of my head. How many games how many points you believe equates? I can't remember the answer because I was pissed up. But how many games you reckon the goalkeeper actually gets you at our level? I think the top goalkeeper can take you from finishing second to winning the league. But it's just interesting as you sort of drop down sort of 10th to 15th if we're trying to push. You know, how many... Does it still equate to the same amount of points as it would at the top? Probably. But, you know, how much of a big difference it makes. Because before we were talking about other keepers from Trafford, I didn't mind as sort of improving outfield play if we was to keep hold of Darlow, for instance, who just isn't going to drop too many balls, quite literally. I meant bollocks, but... Lloyd Kitten says, get Howe in. Crazy to me, Lloyd Gittins, but I'm here for it. I think he's decent, but I'm still Team Farke and the doctor and the medics. Football pundits trying to fathom SCR and the difference between revenue and profit. Guess that's why they're football pundits. Yes, Simon B. Wells. We don't confess to be accountants over here either. To be fair, though. Alan Clark, 80 years young tomorrow, at Leeds' best ever striker. Many happy returns, Sniffer. Yes, Mark, 6'3", lovely stuff. Did not know that. What a legend. 11-4 to stay up. That must be Sunderland. Newcastle could very well struggle next season. I can see it, BMG. Lloyd Gittins saying 86% are wrong. You never disagree with the people, brother. The people are the power, Lloyd Gittins, and you know it. If you don't know it, if you don't know by now, you never knew it. Don't forget it. No one's saying Trafford is bad, but for 35 million, 65 a week wages, Chelsea might pen us his better value and would be a better long-term number one goalkeeper for Leeds than Trafford, in my opinion. I disagree, but that is why we're here, brother. That is why we're here. Richie now knows that he's a monster in the nets. He may very well do. He may very well do. We all love Leeds. We all love Leeds. We all love Leeds. Going to close this poll here, boys. We've got 32 votes, and people would rather be born with 19 finders, which obviously I meant to put fingers, but get 6 mil, than born with 3 fingers but get 10 mil. Now that is a no-brainer to me, on the basis that I'd rather have more fingers. And I know I'm hoping nobody's been funny about 2 thumbs and 8 fingers or whatever. I'm sure we all know what day it is here. I'd rather have more to work with than less. And 4 million, you know, what can you get for 4 million? It's like £3 to me. What's 4 million to me, really? My perfect cousin says, War Piglet. I'm presuming that's a song from the emojis that has been attached to it, but fucking hell, these things, I know I go on about them every week, but they are not twist tops. They fucking kill. I don't know the reference, War Pigs. It's difficult to assess value. Roof was about 10, so you could say he's a far better value than Trafford. But we went for a 15 mil last season and couldn't risk getting it wrong again. Trajectory is a big thing, isn't it? This is a dumb fuck thing to say, but, you know, players are worth whatever you buy them for, aren't they? And then you find out when they get there. Do you know what I mean? Paid 25 million for Aronson. You know, you could argue, and I know nobody likes arguing it, but you've probably got your money's worth out of him for the amount of games he's played in the past couple of seasons. Regardless whether you think he's played well or not, I don't care about that. I don't want to talk about that. I can't be arsed with that. But we've got his money worth out of him ultimately now. Or what? Even if you don't think we have, my point being is, you know, we've bought players for peanuts and got so much. I mean, what we got out of Stack last year and stuff, that's obviously far better business. But you'd have paid 30 million for Stack. But I think also when you do, say if we'd have paid, I mean, you'd have paid a lot of money for Stack, wouldn't you, with the season he gave us last year and hopefully give us this year. And I mean, a lot of money. But then does that alter how good you think they are? You know, Stack's probably a bad example because he was so brilliant last year, but do you remember when he wavered, for instance? If you'd have spent 50 million on him, when he was wavering, you'd have said we've been robbed type of thing. That's maybe a bit of a bad example, but do you kind of get what I'm getting at? 2 years ago, we kicked ourselves on missing out on Rotherham keeper Victor for £1 million. Where's he now? I have no idea where he is now, Roger Slick. The best goalie is Arsenal's, and he's only 6 foot tall, says Lloyd Gittins. Raya. Yeah, he's all right. Phil Morford, what's good, big man? I love Farke, brilliant manager. Lucky to have him in my opinion. Top dollar comment, Phil. Love it, mate. Lucky to have him. This is the type of thing we like to hear, don't we? Pre-season, going in. We've had a good season last year. The bloke's got us promoted. We've had a good season. We're going into a new year. Let's have a look. We're lucky to have him. Farke at the helm. Let's have it. I'm sticking behind him. Stuck behind him all last season. Felt vindicated towards the end of the season. Many, many, many Leeds fans, home and away. Every game I go to, there's about 2 lads on bus that want him out, and the rest is just full of Farke-ins. With the amount of shite gone on at Newcastle, not only Howe needs a holiday, fucking Newcastle need one too. Newcastle's a permanent holiday, they're all boxed up, and you know it. Don't forget it. Michael Brown, Eddie Howe is more of a proven manager at Premier League level, but Farke has done well last season. If he continues to do well, we'll keep hold of Farke. I believe Howe has his eyes on the England job. I think that is, I mean, I've said that earlier on in video, Michael Brown, but I do think that's a bit of a media stir as well, to be fair. But I think some managers, it's said about, isn't it? You know, it was said about with Guardiola, it was said about with Mourinho, Portugal. Guardiola, obviously, with his Spain ties, but then he nearly went to Italy, apparently turned that down. I think he'll probably be waiting for Spain, really, Guardiola, won't he? Klopp's gone to, I mean, Klopp wasn't really mentioned or was he mentioned for the German international job? I just mean in terms of like some managers' trajectory seems to suggest that throughout their entire career, doesn't it? And I don't know whether that's coming out of their gob to sort of spread the word that I would like to be the manager at some point. Like Harry Redknapp was always mentioned, wasn't it, that he would eventually be England manager. Get Howe in to look after our kids. Is that suggesting that Farke can't look after kids? I don't rate Farke, and with him we struggle to attract players. Trafford, Brandt, etc. talk to him and run. What on earth is that based on, Lloyd Gittins? Trafford's coming to the club. We don't know on Brandt yet, but Brandt has got a few options, and who the fuck were Brandt up until 2 weeks ago? The likes of Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, etc. are always going to be under pressure because they have such small revenue. Spurs can get away with it being shit because they have colossal revenue. Yeah, they're definitely one of the bigger attraction revenue-wise, aren't they, BMG? Tanaka is better than... Longstaff is better than Tanaka. And he looks up for it. I'm going to have to ask the question. Is Tanaka as good as everyone seems to make out? Because I think everybody's aroused by his name. Not everybody gets a chance under Farke. I disagree, Joe Depp, honestly. Which players ain't had a chance with him? Let's hope we can do everything we need to do within budget to bring in players. Why haven't the 49ers gave Farke an improved contract? We don't know yet, do we, Lloyd Gittins? I think they're quite professional, both Dr. Farke and the 49ers. I think they're sort of living in a space where we don't need to keep improving your contract when you're just doing what you said you'd do. I think they treat it like a job. I don't think Farke particularly wants it either. I think he'd take it if you offered him it, but I don't think he's shitting his pants about it. I think he's quite well grounded, and I do actually believe he goes along with the plan that they're on. When he says, they gave me 3 years to get him up, he got him up. Then but now the parameters have changed. We've done that within 2 years. The parameters have changed. What we're doing, I think Farke was just as willing to. I don't think he'd have been happy about leaving the club and having gone up into the Premier League. I think he wanted his chance in the Premier League, but I don't think he'd have made the same mistake he made with Norwich by sticking by us if we're not going to invest. So I think he asked plenty of the 49ers and said, this is exactly what I want, or anything below this I will not accept. So I think in return, the 49ers have said, well, you have to guarantee us this or you're out at door. I think they've got a good relationship, Lloyd Gittins, to be honest. And that's a total guess, but it's certainly whatever, that's me trying to answer your question. I know you'd say it's because you think Farke's shit and sold at 49ers. But if 49ers thought Farke was shit, believe me, they'd just get rid of him. Mick McCarthy and Sean Dyche were just below average as Premier League managers, but better delusional podcasters. I like Mick McCarthy. I think Sean Dyche is a dick slap. Leeds Farke worked miracles without being given all the proper tools, and he got 100 points and finished champions and overperformed. Give him a chance. He's getting the backing now. It seems marching on together. Leeds. Absolutely, brother. We all seem to forget the bit of turmoil that we had when we first went down. The less so, but the turmoil we had the second year when we lost a lot of players that it would have wanted to keep hold of. We all knew a couple would go out, but when Rutter were leaving, like during the season and that, I think we play a couple of games before he left, and that was not good for the club. Yes, Mingy boy, MVG mentioned bonus. Thank you very much for being a member for 22 months, Ming. That's an absolute madness. That must mean it's nearly 2 years since I met you, brother. We have signed Trafford, anti-Leeds troll. Run out of streams to be a twatting, says 78 happy, and there's no mercy. We're happy for you to be here, though, Gittins. We're happy for you to be here. We can take it. As long as it's Leeds talk, we can take it. And if you start calling me gay and that, is fine, but you'll just get ignored. I'd actually be happy with us finishing 15th to 17th for a couple of seasons if we're clear of the bottom three. We must stay in the league till the stadium's done, and we should be well set. Well, the good thing is, though, they seem to still be moving while the stadium is in creation, BMG, because the main worry is you don't want to go down the Arsenal route where they had, pittance to pay, didn't they? And they were fucking around when Suarez wanted to go and they were paying like £1 over. Farke's probably the best thing since Bielsa. I don't think there's any doubt about that, Leeds. I can't believe... I've said this before and I'll probably have to say it 1,000 times again. But if it wasn't for Bielsa, Farke would be God. Farke would be Tret like Bielsa was. And that's not Farke's fault. But, he's not a show pony. He's here to just do the job. Farke knows what day it is. Whether did Trafford sign? Not sure what that means. I think he will sign though, Lloyd Gittins. It's pretty nailed on. I share your scepticism until it says he's here. He's not here, but it's looking like he is. Stadium expansion. Leeds are going places. Get up these Leeds without even moving anybody on, brother. That is true, Brett. That is true. Both Charles and Brandt would be decent signings, but in my opinion, neither are essential. I'd argue that the priority now is to offload Peru and getting some proper competition for DCL. Agree nearly wholeheartedly, BMG, apart from the priority to offload Peru. I know I've said it before, but I never understand this. We need to get rid of before we get in vibe. Get someone in, then get rid of Peru. Or have someone lined up and get rid of Peru. But how much is a finger operation? Now that changes everything, War Piglet. Because you can get that sort. You can definitely remove fingers. I'd say removal of fingers is easier than adding additional fingers. So you'd spend a bit of your budget on that, wouldn't you, War Pigs? El Loco says, Espi off to Real Madrid, was really hoping we would get him. There's going to be loads of things floating about. By the way, your name, El Loco, is a Dalmatian sensation, mate. I'm here for it. I must have missed the signing of Trafford. Well, Lloyd Gittins, when he gets here, do you promise to come back and say that Farke's got pulling potential? And Farke, believe me, from what I've heard, has got pulling potential with the ladies. Eddie, I was never going to win that Jim White level biased vote. Thank you, Roger Slicker. 3 fingers normally. Do so take the 10 mil. You can still get your work done, can't you, Brett, with 3 fingers? We know that. How many fingers on each foot? Do you think Farke is elite? I don't think RPM said that, to be fair. He may very well do, but I mean, how about some players for the 11 lads? We need these. Job's in, Brett. That's a good shout. Job's on the back, innit? Too thick to understand and reads the big picture, as any positivity on Leeds United does not fit your agenda. We are in a positive space, Lloyd. Like, genuinely, it's a positive time to be a Leeds United fan. So, unfortunately for 78 RPM, he's going to come across for a while now as a happy clapper. But this happy clapping stuff is utter wank. It's total trash talk. 78 RPM, I physically know the bloke as well as... I now physically know him as well as through the Ethernet know him. But he's not a happy clapper. I'm not a happy clapper. But while things are happy at the club, I'm going to clap, dude. And when they're not good, I'm going to say they're not good, and I'm still going to clap, to be fair. That don't make me a happy clapper. It means I support the football club. It does not mean... This happy clapping stuff is... It's like being called old. You know, when you're above 30 and some 20-odd-year-old kid says, oh, you're old. And it's like, oh, that's hurtful. It's like being called lanky. It's like being called small. It's like being called fat. It's all like low resolution insults that, you know, if you've got alt about you, really wouldn't insult you. The reason why it's sort of insulting is it's so easy to say, and like I don't know you've learned that off. Maybe Voldemort started the happy clapping stuff. But you know, you could be a miserable fucker like Voldemort and you know, you get the same job done. So it's up to you what you want to be. I think in general life, really, I actually think a lot of personality comes out in football when you're playing football and when you're watching football. I think your personality comes out, and if you're miserable, you'll be miserable about stuff. And if you know, if football's your way of negotiating bad times rather than thinking, well, it didn't happen for us today. Like if you've played a competitive game of football in your whole life, you tend to know that you can lose football games while playing well, and like, you know, we're not quite at it. Or you can be self-critical rather than just suggesting that anybody that thinks Trafford would be a good signing or that Farke has done a good job for the club. All right, Lloyd Gittins, do you think Farke has done a good job for the club? And you've got have to answer that question with a yes or no. You can't say, well, Guardiola would have done better. You have to say yes. We'll poll it up to find out if the boys do. Is Tanaka good enough? As good as everyone seems to make out? 61% have said yes. 62% have said yes. 38% have said no. I'm on fence. I don't think he's as good as everybody makes out, actually, to be fair. Has Farke done a good job? Because we'll learn a lot here, I think, in the poll. Because there'll be plenty of no's in there. But, you know, that again, I think it comes down to your personality. I'll take your 6 mil, 19 fingers, spend £1 mil on surgery to move 11 fingers, and then sell those digits on eBay. Love it, the right Reverend right. Jimmy Fingers played for Scum. Farke will be gone before December. Good stuff. 6 million and remove 9 fingers. See, we're all on board with this. Joe Bellingham in. Farke has done nothing but break records. FA Cup semi-final. Farke is the man. It's obviously agendas against him because he's not Bielsa. I loved Bielsa, but Farke has proven himself fact. And truth be told, you know, I love Bielsa more than the next man Leeds. But truth be told, if Farke does it again this season, if we finish 10th and we have a bit of a cup run, yeah, you have to get towards. I mean, Farke's had better backing and all that stuff, but he's outlived Bielsa, hasn't he, really? 2 more years with Farke before he takes over at Real Madrid. I'm up for it. What's the thumb situation? I knew there'd be some thumb talk. Man United away, win record, breaker, Farke. Love it, Leeds. Alisson Becker's a good shout, BMG. Keeper's in now. Agreed. Disagreed. Jimmy the Chin would choose 19 to scratch that chin, and you know it, Brett. He'd be all over it, wouldn't he? It'd be like that, wouldn't it? It'd be like playing the flute on either side of his chin. Brett always manages to bring Jimmy the Chin in, and I fucking love it. You're better than this. Get him in. G-Sun Park, Brett. That's good stuff. What's the poll? I can't remember where we were at the time, Mink. Fair enough. Another poll. Would you take next season's table as it stands now? 13th above Liverpool. Do you know what, Wimberway? I was gonna discuss the fact we sit 13th in league because I joked about it last season, and I can't remember where we was last season. So obviously it will change, give or take, with the teams that come up. You know, Coventry and Ipswich above, for instance. So that maybe pushed us down. But I remember were we around 11th or something last season before a game was kicked, and I was like, that's where we'll finish. They all seem to be doing one, don't they, Simon B. Wells? Somebody saying Wackow, saying Trafford off to Villa, says Slink for Slink. I'll send that lad over edge. I'd take 3 fingers and 10 million all day, as you only need 2 fingers and a thumb to roll blunts. Hey, I love that stuff, to be fair. I don't love blunts, but I love that you do. Sometimes pulling out saves a lot of hassle, and you'd have 19 fingers to wrap it round. Son, I bet that is footballer Son his name. His full name, or not his full name. Yeah, he's called... No, yeah, it's a weird one. Because he's called Heung-min Son, isn't he? Which we all know. But his actual name is Son. No, he's called Son Heung-min, isn't he? I don't know, that's proper fucking thrown me off. Worst VAR check ever, BMG. Premier League 26-27 going to be fun and games. All the managerial changes, most clubs going for it within their constraints, bringing in players, and yet few things to win. Hilarity when big failures, and you know it all boxed up, and don't forget it, my G. They're loving that stuff, aren't they? Sergio Aguero was cun on his shirt. Yes, BMG. Did Torre have Yaya on? Chicharito. Did Torre? Was it? Did he have Yaya? Did he have Yaya? Have we got Raul in there yet, BMG? I'm sure Raul. That was his first name, wasn't it, Raul? We'll see. Slink. You can't book people for not knowing. Ampadu, Wilson and Trafford was the most important signings this season so far for Leeds, in my opinion. Ampadu's a big one. And to be honest, Leeds, I'm glad you've mentioned that, because there's too many too often don't actually, discuss the signings made just to keep them at the club so we know where we're going. Do you know what I mean? I'm not particularly suggesting that anybody were flying in for Ampadu, but he had a very good season. And, when you're looking for bargains around the market and you're paying 115, they said quid, 115 million or whatever it is for Anderson, who I honestly think has plenty of potential. I'm sure he's a very decent footballer. That is a lot of money for that man. And then when you're paying 40 million for Trafford and people are moaning, it's like, fuck a flying duck. Yes, Mingy handing out them memberships like he's Santa Claus. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Mingy. Darlow did, now he don't. Next, love it, Simon B. Wells. You can't spend money in the Premier League unless you have the turnover. It's that simple. Newcastle, richest club in the world, 150 million turnover. Yeah, this is the bullshit though, isn't it, Richard? That's what I'm saying, but, unless they've got a bit bored, because there's a lot of people saying that they want out, which is, it's a crazy thing. The main reason I thought the 49ers would turn out to be good owners was because it made no sense for them not to be. It would be no good for them if we continued in the Championship. Yes, Steve Morrison. The more money they earn, the better we are. Ronaldo Mandava, Sunderland left back. Ronaldo on shirt, being his first name. Lovely stuff, Brett. Brett's going to take the win tonight, I think. Somebody called Josh and Wacko saying Trafford is off to Villa. Do you think Trafford's off to Villa? This link. Nigel Martin was our last proper decent keeper, and Darlow has been our best keeper in a very long time. That is true, AO. Well played. Man at match. He's definitely on for man at match. Austin Bomber, Vinny Jr., Arsenal terms agreed. If Arsenal sign Vinny Jr. and because I don't know if they're still in for Alvarez. I really like Alvarez. I don't like Arsenal, and I don't like any of the players. But if they're, I don't actually like Vinny Jr., but that's an exciting player. And if they got Alvarez, who I really like, I think he's brilliant. I'd be looking forward to watching him. I still think Arteta will stink gaff out, but the 49ers are smart businessmen. Wait till the stadium is finished. Look what they did to the San Francisco 49ers. Best owners for years with billions. They've definitely got plenty of capital, haven't they, Leeds? Love it. Adama Traore, get him in there, BMG. He's a long-term, I won't say a fan of the channel, but he's certainly a long-term, not member. He's been discussed long-term, hasn't he, on this channel. SP Striker gone to Real Madrid. We were interested in him. Yes, indeed. Alan Clark. It's over now. Come on, BMG. Stay loose. We could have lost Ampadu, but he knows we're going to be in Europe next season. Gears up these leads. And I do think he's taken on the mantle of the skipper at the club, to be fair. Good Lord, BMG. Good Lord. In my opinion, it doesn't matter who Arsenal get in. They will win a grand total of nought. All boxed up has gone in. Love that. I'm going to pull it up. Has Farke done a good job at the club? 35 votes. 89% say yes. 11% say no. Love it. Will Arsenal win all this season? League and Cup. Just a cup. Or nout. Get up, get stuck in there. I can't really see. I'm a bit concerned though, because I can only really see at the moment like Man City challenging them, and I don't rate Enzo Mascherano, whatever he's called, that much. So Marseille to rival Aston Villa for Toulouse keeper. Restes, says Lukey boy. Memphis to pay. Had Memphis on his shirt. BMG, good call. can't remember what I thought. Vinny Junior's Brazilian though, isn't he? It's always risky. I'll vote for that when we get. I'll VAR it when I get to the bottom. I'll take a booking as I didn't vote for the poll, but more importantly, I can't think of anyone who didn't have their names on the back of their shirt. Team Ming. There's loads. I'm struggling other than Raul at minute. For some reason, Demba Bar's popped into my mind, but I think he had Bar on back, didn't he? Need to get this Trafford deal signed as rumour now his deal is off. Is that actually coming out here? Because that's fucking mental if that is the case and we've just been... But John's also saying, right, James Trafford, are we having it or not? Finalised shortly. Fuck knows. I think Trafford is a mint signing, Richard Todd. I think he needs a club to call his own. My only worry is when has Pep been wrong? I don't think it's a case. I agree, Richard Todd, on that, but I don't think it's a case of him being wrong. I just think Donnarumma came up in market, and it's like, you know, many goal. It's like your only chance to get that bloke. So, I just think that's what it is. What about it? Would you support them instead, Lloyd? I know, John. I couldn't be asked going on Twitter though because I've got to log in. I can't remember what it was. Unambiguous at the time. Apologies, but I'm no doubt it'd have been ridiculous. Trafford won't go to Villa because their keeper just signed a new contract. He's signing for Leeds. It'll be jealous fans trying to mix rumours, I've no doubt. Bruno Mingy. See, Mingy's back in the game here. Fernandez. Bit of patience needed on the Europe fetishisation. 85% SCR. Better than 70%. Need a few more years to build squad, but it will come. It always does. Simon Bewells, I've said many a time, but the thing is, if it's here this year, you've just got to take whatever comes with. They will want Europe. The 79ers will want. The 69ers will want Europe. The 69ers, the 59ers, the 39ers, the 29ers, the 19ers. You just got to take it as it comes. Fire escape, health and safety, out the window, feck it. And you know it, War Piglet, straight out of this bitch. Brett is the only one to turn up tonight. Side before self stuff, love it. Coca, I don't know if you mean Coca as in caca. Hulk. Caca is Spanish for shit, understood. But Hulk, the right Reverend Right, again, we're on the Brazilian hype. The Brazilians will fill it out, BMG. Oh, wait, I do remember a team who didn't have any sponsors and they played a season without names on the back of their shirt. Was it Blackburn? Citation needed. How come they won't put names on back of the shirt if they didn't have a sponsor, though? We need to reduce the level of Ujanik Abolakov, love it. Right, Reverend. We need to reduce the amount of Brazilians that we let in. What's the opinion on the linked German backup keeper, Hans Everywhere? He sounds sensational, unambiguous. And from what I've seen of him, there is no spot that he can't reach. And when he comes for corners, the unambiguous, all I can say is his hands are everywhere. Get him in goal or win away. Just nearly. You know how weird it is how players' names that bring someone else into your... Gaza didn't have his name printed on the back of his shirt. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Peter White. I thought we debunked that he wasn't allowed it, apparently, Peter White. He is one of the best of all time. There's no doubt about that, Leeds. We've got a goalkeeper, but we can have backups. Jack, did you hear about Kevin the Scotsman handled an electric appliance with wet hands, got electrocuted, unconscious for 10 minutes, broke arm and shoulder. His wife found him. I did not know or hear of that, Roger Slicker, but I fucking have done now. Trafford 4 Prems games last season, conceded 6. Man City, truth be told, were a little bit dodgy in general, though, Red Bull Leeds, to be fair. I think Hasselbank just had his surname, VAR, but not given on the field. Pele, again, risky business when we're on to the Brazilians. Could you do an opinion on whether Rads was a good owner? We ended up in such a better place because of him, Bielsa, but there was also so much incompetence surrounding him. I will try and frame it the same way as I did with Farke, Steve. Can confirm, will Arsenal win this season? The league 12%, league and cup 18%, just the cup 24%, and Nout is 45%. And I love that shit, mate. Pull this up. I'll just put, was Rad's a good owner? Because I think there's the only way to find out is you to only give the yes and no answer. I mean, I personally, I would go yes. That was an hell of a journey home, only an hour late for the underlap, much like the Odyssey himself, Jack. Indeed, MVG, we're working like a dog, and welcome though, brother. Danielson was like the fucking step over king, brother. Get some love in this fucking bastard bitch for MVG. Hasselbank's actually name was not Jimmy Floyd. I can't recall what it actually is. Let me catch up here because I'm so far behind. £2 per transaction in Gdansk. Any purchase on Nationwide building bullshit card, my G. I know War Piglet, but what about Revolut? Don't Revolut normally sorts me out, so I'm off all Revolut with it, War Piglet. Because I did that in Budapest like a dickhead. And I'd downloaded Revolut app card. And I didn't fucking understand what I was doing. And I'm not trying to pretend to be a legend, but I were on a stag do and I was just like blaked out of my mind all weekend. And the first night I just put like 150 quid or whatever on it. And I'd like, on the first day you go for it, don't you? Like, you're burning through it 'cause it's like the full, like, it's probably your best. You're probably the best version of drink. Actually, no, I think I'm the best at drinking, my drinking on the second day, because I can just drink shitloads. In terms of, when I say best, I mean how much you can actually drink. On the first day, I blew my load on the first day, let's put it that way. And then I panicked on the second day and I couldn't, because I was like, it's like get up and go straight back to the pub when I'm, particularly on a stag do, it's like, I don't want to be the guy that dies, so it's get up and get back out, like, and just be all right, Let everybody see you. Let everybody see you having a few pints, and if you die at 4 p.m, you can hide, but you never do. Once the 3-pint theory gets you. Once you're back on it, you're all right, aren't you? But regardless, it started saying insufficient funds on when I was trying to tap it, so I just thought, oh fuck it, I'll do it on Nationwide, and then the whole weekend was just full of booze. So I never actually had an opportunity to look at it and try being an adult and work it out. And I got home and I'd paid 100 quid, I'd say, in I want to call them fines, but yeah, like transactions. But it wasn't £2 a pop, to be fair, but it wasn't good. But I just took it as expenses. War Piglet, not against the company, but there's no company there is company when you're on a stag do, but I'm chatting shit out. I think beer's it. I assumed I've missed nothing of great importance. I feel like we've been rocking and rolling, MVG, but you've missed nothing of great importance, brother. Robinho, my favourite Brazilian player, brother. Leeds, he certainly is. He's on the wall up there. Put him on the front wall because I know he's in jail for being a bit of a monster. So I thought if I put him on the back wall, I'll get too much shit. But my brother bought me that as a Christmas present. It was a brilliant present. It's a fucking brilliant photo of him. It's a brilliant canvas. I'd take it off the wall, but I'm worried I won't be able to get it back up on the wall. I'm on about there, you dirty bastards. Awesome player. I loved him so much. A good goalkeeper makes a big difference. Roofs for us last season earned a good few points, Brett. Yes, indeed. Roofs is probably the second best goalkeeper in the world, isn't he, behind Trafford? Not as good outfield, not as good up top though, is he? I'd say Trafford were better up top. MVG, the 11 is players who don't have the actual surname on the shirt. No Brazilians, and we're struggling a bit. We can fill it out with Brazilians if we need them though. Jimmy the Chin never had the name on the back of his shirt. Get him in, MVG. We need you here, brother. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. To grow up on that is fucking awesome. So basically, you can name any player from back in the day when they didn't have names on the... No, MVG. He's already been told off for that. Rodriguez is a good one. I think he had James. Fun fact, he was named after the James Bond. Google it if you don't believe me. James Rodriguez, 100%. Offensive. It only seemed like 57 years ago we signed Alan Clark from Leicester. I presume it was exactly 57 years ago. They have to have had names on the back of the shirts, or it is insane. Piss on our parade. Bruno. The undertones. SCR, every £1 we spend on our club, the club can spend 85 pence on the squad and manager. Profit doesn't come into it anymore. It's all a load of bollocks, Simon B. Wells. I think they should just do away with it. You should just have to prove that you're not being irresponsible with your money. You know that, BMG. There's no mercy around here. Last year, Richard Todd. And you know it, MVG. Bruno, potentially. Is it Guimaraes or Fernandez? But probably. Guimaraes 100% has Bruno on back, doesn't he? Trafford has to work for Leeds, otherwise it's a poison chalice. Identifying and sourcing new future goalkeepers. We certainly don't want to keep getting goalkeepers in door, do we? You don't really want to be worried about goalkeepers, do you, at the start of the season? Let's have it right. It was never going to sign. It was always going to Real Madrid. Hannibal, that's a mint shout. Raul, thank God I finally got one in. You can run Ming, but you can't hide. Can Ming run? That's the thing. We brought in 9-10 players last season. 7 or 8 worked, and we are definitely getting better at this shit. Up the parade. Gates up in the 49ers. Up, Farke. This is Leeds. Gates up, Richard Todd. That's comment at night, mate. It did. There was only really Perry that failed at the club, really, and that wasn't too bad a failure. You know, we got away with it with Darlow, didn't we? But all the other players were utilised, weren't they? So the Hovel's in. Hovel's in and on and over here. Trafford, the most expensive reserve goalkeeper, not worth up to 45 million. I disagree though, Richard Roth, honestly. I don't know what you get anymore, and I think he's properly decent for the next 5 years. Well, potentially for the next 10 years. I think he's actually got levels. Man City signed him, didn't they? If you were signing him all the way around, you'd be up for it. I'm into it. I think it's a good signing. No, Roger Slicker. Nobody's worried about alt round here. Alexis Sanchez, bang, MVG's landed. Oh, here the lads. I wonder if he's ever said that to them. Managers of old, like Revie and Clough, talked to players and they signed. Okay. He's in. MVG's in. That dickhead son of Simeone doesn't have the family name on the back of his shirt either. That reminds me of Cruyff. Cruyff's son. He had... not Johan, because that was him, wasn't it? But Cruyff didn't have his dad's name on his back, did he? No, I don't, Richard. Missing the bigger picture. The problem we have and had for many years, we don't have good goalkeeping coach. Red Bull Leeds, you've said this before, mate, to be fair. And said we had a bit of a keeper, I believe, in us with Mez. And something went wrong, so I'm up for blaming goalkeeping coach. Luke's in. MVG joins the party. Didn't Roy Keane have cunt on the back of it? I thought it were tattooed to his forehead, wasn't it? Areola improves Farke. Areola improves players. Farke does not. Nothing personal, just my opinion. I mean, your opinion is personal, isn't it? 'Cause it's personal to you. That's why it's your opinion. But yeah, give Farke more money means less for new players. I thought he did have Simeone on his back, to be fair, but why does everybody keep saying Virgil? It's Virgil van Dijk, though. I don't know what that means. Has he got more of a name? It's Virgil van Dijk, innit? I don't know why everybody keeps saying Van Dijk. Jack, even if Leeds lose all their friendlies, are you still so invested in it? Bielsa never won a pre-season match. Well, I'm still invested in Leeds United, yeah. Tanaka may have his faults, but he's important for Leeds and we need to keep him. All just blowjob signals for Tanaka. Tanaka at his best is a £60 million player. I don't agree with that, Steve Morrison. He's just way too inconsistent and pretty bad. I mean, to be fair, you've brought it back round with that, so I do agree with the whole thing. I think he could be, he's brilliant on ball and stuff, but I do think he's really wasteful on ball, to be honest. I think he's complacent. I don't think he's trustworthy. I think he evades. I think he empties the midfield a lot. Dele Alli, get up BMG. That's a banger. Yes, indeed it is. Thank God for BMG here. Need a few more from MVG and we're in. Brett's been pelting them out, to be fair, as well. Just look at Jed Spence. We had him. Cut off. Set him for 3 million, then he goes back to tomorrow, top player for the second. Right, well, there's one example of somebody that has not been trusted any club he's ever been at. But yeah, I know he went to World Cup and had a shit game, and then for some reason everybody said how mint he was. I don't understand the Van Dijk thing. I agree, Lukey boy. What's that based on, Richard Roth? Why does everybody keep saying that fucking Spence was one of the better players for England? I don't. Who stood out? They're only Bellingham. Get him in there, MVG. Richard Todd, I can't think about, to be fair, man. We're on 78. We won't make it. We need to wrap something else up, don't we? I need to wrap like a mystery prize up, don't I? I mean, I can't do it now, but for the next Underlap, we'll try and get a mystery dildo. We'll reveal another dildo. I'll see what else my mum's got wrapped up. I didn't know Simeone. I thought Simeone had the back of had his name on his back, but obviously not. Define a happy clapper, Lloyd Gittins. We appreciate you, brother, but it just seems like a wild time to be like depressed about Leeds United. Cash is king, innit? Ampadu, Rodon, Bogle, BMG, appreciate it. Buy me a coffee, MVG. Oh, we're still talking about the fingers. Jack, please pull this. No problem. Let's close this poll here. Was Rad's a good owner? 35 votes, 54% say yes, 46% say no. I would go on the side of yes, just because I think what he did outweighs what he didn't do. I think it went tits up at end and that's it. I think he panicked, to be honest. Who you rather? This would be interesting, this, to be fair, because all the talk's gone one way. Can't remember what they were there, Ming, but I doubt it. We need to get you over, don't we, BMG, first? I think counting Trafford, we will bring in 4 or 5 players, 78 RPM, agreed. I know, Steve Morrison, yeah, we've had this SB bloke. What's the password? New England clam chowder. I can't remember what I was saying, Ming. Where's your local? I'm guessing the cruel irony is that the only local to want. We'll get him back on El Loco. He's not been in thus far, though. Bastard's ignoring me. I have nothing to do with the daffodil. I don't even fucking know what this daffodil stuff's about. I sort of do, but I still don't understand it. We need to pay. We're getting BMG for end of year drinks, aren't we? We're going to set up a charity fund to get his flight over for end of next season when we're in fucking Champions League. I'd go loose with that MVG. 'Cause that's like dad vibes, isn't it? Where they like put something in online. You go, Dad, that you shouldn't put that online. You know. I know you haven't done that, MVG. Why do you keep saying he's like a reserve keeper, Richard Roth? That seems slightly sort of like disingenuous. There's a reserve goalkeeper for Manchester City who have Donnarumma, who they signed after they signed Trafford as the number 1. But he wasn't a reserve goalkeeper for Burnley, was he? He was like the best player in the world for Burnley, you know. Just Joe wanted him to win the player of the season. So, you know, he wouldn't be reserved for us, would he? So if he's 40, he might be 40, he's worth 40 million for us. We're not trying to win the league. Mine's a pint. Still though, I need to re-ask what this fucking daffodil shit's about. Enzo does just have Enzo on the back, doesn't he? Find that out, but I'm sure going images up in this bitch. Oh, he has no, he has Enzo. Yeah, he does have Enzo, yeah. But he sometimes does has E. Fernandez, to be fair. But Enzo overall, Enzo's in. Farke done brilliant job. 90 points, 100 points, 14th place. Can't argue. 3-year plan. Here we go. Killer 026. Appreciate you, brother, and you know it. Don't you forget it. 210 shift down. Get up, JLUFC. Appreciate you, brother. Get your feet kicked up, mate, and get fucking chilled out. Get stuck into tonight's match, my lad. My shoe has took him 13 games to get the formation right. Lloyd Gittins has forgot about all time that he's went back to 4-3-3 throughout the season that worked for us. Do you remember when we played 5 at the back against Liverpool and we were getting absolutely fucking blasted? And then he went 4-3-3 and we drew the game. I remember. Hold on a minute, Jack. Wait a minute. I've seen many happy clappers in the Leeds official channel comments who blindly happy clap when we've been shit and lose games. I don't know any of these people, Our Lord and Saviour, Google says there is no place called Cape Town in Yorkshire, BMG. Would you by any chance be referring to a major city in South Africa? Little Cape Town, MVG. Jack, you're losing the context of what happy clapper is. Google what happy clapper in football. I know what happy clapper is, Roger Slicker. I'm sure you've learnt by now, JLUFC. It's no second name on the back of the shirt. Farke has built 3 teams in 3 seasons. Red Bull, Leeds United. Love it. Negative thinking makes a negative impression on a negative person. Jack, we can't do nothing about yesterday. And a little about today and everything about tomorrow. Step forward, people. Richard Todd, wonderfully put comments there. I'm here for it. I've done the work for you, Jack. A happy clapper is a mildly derogatory slang term for an enthusiastic member of a charismatic or evangelic Christian church who claps and sings along loudly. Fucking hell. I didn't know it was church related. If it's church related, I'm up for it. Regarding Farke doing a good job, we have to remember that we were on the brink of disaster when he joined. It could have gone tits up and he stabilised us. Can he take us to the next level? I don't know. And that is where we're at, BMG. We don't know. We don't care. I don't care. I'll find out. When I think we've got a squad where legitimately, you know, we've got a stronger squad this season as it stands now. And if we can't go, we should be 10th. And if we finish 12th, by 6 points, we finish 12th. We shouldn't be in a relegation battle this year. Voldo puts me in mind of a young Hasselhoff, that hair. Damn that hair, it's dreamy. I can't even look at it, Reverend. Makes me feel sick. His face makes me feel sick. It's all right. His mouth moves at like 100 miles an hour. When Farke wins a trophy or gets us in Europe, he will have left Bielsa as just a footnote, says RPM. Brutal stuff. Trafford saves a penalty against Man City. You know it's going to happen. That'd be fucking... I mean, it wouldn't be great to give away the penalty, granted Simon B. Wells, but it'd be good if we did. Well, it wouldn't be good if we did, but it'd be good if he does. It'd be good if we happen to that he does. Nobody do it how he does it. I don't think we've done too bad, though. We can fill it out with Brazilians, BMG. Safe 13th, none of this pissing around with the relegations on. That's what we want, Joe Depp. Just 10 games away, just going, oh, we've dicked it here. Love that, AO. That's all we need to hear. There's no denying it, AO. It's perfect. Yes, Mr. Whitesnake up in this bitch. The snake is here. We'll take 10 to 14. Slow and steady wins the race. Air and the torts. Get up, Richard Todd. Why would I take 13th when we are top 10, says 78 RPM? Rodrigo, I think's in JLUFC. Mr. Whitesnake getting the love. Job's in the right, Reverend right. We could in theory finish 17th, but be miles clear relegation if 3 teams get cut adrift. I think Spurs did it 2 seasons ago. They did, BMG. I'll find out about Yaya Toure. I think I'm starting to doubt that. Yaya Toure, name on shirt. He had Toure Yaya in some of them, so I don't know if that... He had Toure Yaya at Barcelona. I'm trying to find a Man City shirt. He had Toure Yaya. Does that count? I knew it were different, but it won't. I can't find him with Yaya. No, it was Toure Yaya. Bastard. Did Sanchez, BMG? Has anybody said Alexis Sanchez? Did I feel like he had Alexis? He had Alexis. Has somebody said Alexis Sanchez though? I just had like a brain fart. Alexis Sanchez, BMG. What the fuck was that? I think if a manager improves season upon season, he's doing a good job. What we all, as fans, are waiting to see is if managers can go from good to great. This is it, Brett. You don't back them. Mr. Whitesnake getting the love. Or giving the love, sending the love. Agreed, Joe Depp. No fucking about. No fucking about. Happy clappers unite. Ampadu, in my opinion, wasn't amazing for the entire season, but he really kicked in the last 15, 20 games. He got better and better. Something happened in that away game against Man City, BMG, where he just became the fucking Donny. Geordie War Piglet. That's who I'm talking about. I disagree, Richard Roth. Yeah, it's how strong the rest of the. It's how far away you are from it and how close you are to 10th. If you're fucking 5 points off 10th, because everybody but the bottom three has been excellent, and the bottom three have just got pumped all year. You know, they've got 5 points. Then you go, well, that's a good season, innit? You just want to win plenty of games, don't you? Long-term fan of the channel, BMG, it was a bit of a slip on it. I'll take it, Luke. Yeah, I'm happy to be called one, to be fair. What if Lloyd Gittins? Is that Rodri's second name? Is Rodri footballer his second name? I feel like that's not his second name. No, Rodri is not his second name. His full name is Rodrigo Hernandez, meaning Rodri. You've just accidentally given us one there, Lloyd Gittins, so get that stuck in BMG. Gears up. Arsenal might get Europe as PSG have lost some talent. Dangerous stuff, that, Luke. I'd hate that. How come we don't produce decent keepers anymore? I don't know if we ever have, Joe Depp. Me and my brother were joking about that, to be fair. Spunk, you know, dropped some clangers, didn't he? Nigel Martin was better than Spunk, to be fair, but players getting beat by midgets in Argentina with under God and what have you, so fans' expectations rise as we get better. You see it with Newcastle fans who are disgusted not getting Champions League when they nearly went down a couple of years back. That's what I mean. Rodrigo's in there, JLUFC. Junior's trouble. Good first season. We'll rip him apart when he visits. I hope we get stuck into him, to be fair, dude. Nothing at all suggesting Trafford is off. People on here probably seeing a few joke tweets and panicking. Yes, Steve Morrison agreed. Rodrigo's in there. This Van Dijk thing's killing me. Only clickbaiters say that an idiot's believe the Trafford deal is off. I'll give £1,000 to a charity of this group's choice if it's off. Charity can be my bank account, 78 RPM. I'm no happy clapper. I'm not clapping for lack of effort and urgency for a win. Sloppy passes. Get your happy clapping on. Well, I mean, by default, he won a couple of cups, didn't he? Why is it? Is somebody winding me up with Van Dijk? Yes, boys. The Lord is lurking and you know it. Stranger things have happened than the Trafford deal and fallen through. Although I can't actually think of anything stranger personally. Strange things are happening and you're going round the twist. He lurks. He strikes. He now gets the love in the chat. Did somebody say a white snake was lurking in the chat? No, there's only one lurker. He's right here, right now. Richard Roth, are you agent? You feel like agent Richard Roth? Forged in the halls of Valhalla from iron ore, molten rock and fermented shark to create the friendly yet utterly terrifying agent of chaos and Tuborg. MVG on absolute flames there. Gooah, love it. Stay loose, Richard Roth. Good things happen to those who wait. And we shall call him Ina. Get up. Loving it. Stay loose. Sinistera. Strioshira. Love it. Look out. Get up. I hope you're staying up for the match. I've just heard Paraga's stepped in some sort of FIFA scandal, and I hope you're well. Yes, my lad Danny. Welcome, brother. We need to get Danny on. I'm going to text you, Danny, after this. Appreciate you, man. I'm staying up. Whether or not I'm going live or not is I don't know. But at this point, I might as well just fucking stay live. We'll get Queen Nikita in back. Rad's tried to do the best for Leeds, but he just didn't have the 49ers money. The only letdown, Rad's would ever had the money for the stadium expansion. Yes, Leeds. I think it was. I'm feeling the pressure, to be fair, boys. It's the narcotics. Yes, BMG, appreciate you, brother. Thank you, BMG. You're a legend, mate. Take care. Rads was a good owner because he pulled the club together. Was aware of our history and marketed us well. Fair enough, Lloyd Gittins, I agree. BMG getting the love, and rightly so. Thank you, BMG. Thank you, Roger Slicker. Appreciate you. Well, he ain't come back, has he, Lloyd Gittins? Because he's not wanted, is he? That's it, MVG. He certainly does. Buy it in bulk, don't they, Roger Slick? They buy it in bulk. I think he's in jail, Leeds. He might have got out. I don't really like looking it up because it hurts my feelings. Yes, Robinho is in prison, 7 and 9 year sentence. Fucking hell. Fucking mental. It's crazy. It's crazy what he got done for as well, these Leeds, I've got to say. I do need one, to be fair, Lukey boy. The El Original. Rafinha's ace, mate. Is that true? He's levelled up his bladder, Luke. No need for this piss straight. These I don't know what's with that, but you are making me need a piss, to be fair. Oh, Southie. Buy a bacon butty before work tomorrow and have a few beers tomorrow. Thank you, Southie. You're a fucking legend, mate. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Everybody give Southie some love. Southie's always in, isn't he? He's a big boy now. Thank you, Southie. Can you run though, Mingy? Shout out to Southie. Thank you, dude. And JLUFC has been a member for 19 months. Madness. Don't know why you boys hang around with me. Any of you. Southie getting the love. Thank you, Southie. I'm running out of spoils for you, Southie. You pop in late on when I'm fucking well behind, and I get down the chat and I get slapped up with that. Thank you, Southie. Honestly, man, you're a legend. I appreciate you, brother. I'll do a quick ship vid and a shout out to Southie tomorrow. The quick ship vid's happening. You know, I ain't opened these notes for donks. That's how much I've not been doing my ship vids. Southie and Ming currently on the super chats, so thank you, boys. Cheers, Southie. I will get myself a bacon butty tomorrow, mate, and I'll might do a short of me eating it. Thank you, man. Inspector Gadget. Yes, Geordie, it's Geordie, innit? Is the young boy. Brown sauce for me, I agree. MVG, spread it, mate. Spread that red brown sauce. I'm a brown sauce man now. I've been converted by you monsters. Inspector, get your orders in. Greedy bastards. Don't know where the power couples have been, to be fair. War Piglet was in. War Piglet and Julie have been in. But we've not seen Roller Blunt and Mimi for a bit, have we? Get up, Mr. Whitesnake. He knows what day it is. Appreciate yourself. You're a ledge, mate. I'm good. Do you know what, Luke? If you'll know by fucking 12 if I am. I need to nip for a piss, boys. I'm gonna close up here, but I need to catch up. I agree. I agree. Southie don't play. Don't you know? Pump it up. I'll get my butt plug out. You know it. 91 likes. If I'd have got 100 here, I'd have got the butt plug out, but... Cash rules everything around me. Get up, MVG. Perfect stuff. Oh, stop calling me Jim White, Roger. Like, I know you don't wind up because he makes me feel ill when I listen to him, but... Yes, Yes, Stephen. Appreciate it. Get up, Southie. Get stuck into it at meetups, brother. And then we can meet up with a bacon sarnie, get the meat up. Live in a shoebox, living old. I haven't watched it, to be fair, Roger Slick, and I can't be arsed. Tommy Fury's bores me a bit. That's a good question, Brett, to be fair. I don't know. I'd rather win some, I think. Oh, I'm trying to win the league, 78 happy. I'm just trying to manage the expectations. Yes. Agreed. He came up. It's my hovel and I'll cry it if I want to. It ain't great, but it's mine. Baubles just got in from graft. Get up, Danny Borden. Covered in shite and minging. Up the happy clappers. Get up, Danny Borden. Legend, mate. Legend of the channel. It's crazy, RPM. It's absolutely crazy, dude. The hovel dwells. Hey, ups it. Don't. You say his name, MVG, and he fucking arrives, doesn't he? Except all his money and fame, yeah. Ellen Road is church, mate. It's a fucking cathedral, pal. You're coming out, Southie. We're getting you out, mate. I owe you a pint. I'm getting fucking abused over here, but I can't read it while I'm... There's too much going on. I've lost my... I've lost touch. 7 menu. I don't think I've forgotten about the zero money you owe me from your bets either, Ming. Trafford will not replace Pickford as next English goalkeeper in the next 5 years. Do you think he will replace? Yes. Do you think Pickford will be our keeper in the next 5 years, dude? I say our keeper, I mean England's keeper. Trafford goes down against City. We have a tactical talk and get a 25 points deduction. Yeet up. 8th at a push, says Mr. Whitesnake. I'm away for it. Get up, Simon B. Wells. Love that. The league have come up with a foolproof, not at all convoluted solution to the issue of goalies faking injuries for this season 78. There's always a way around it. You just need people like Mourinho, don't you? We don't like the cup runs, do we, Roger Slicker, apparently, until we're in semis and then all gay boys come round to it. Agreed, Simon B. Wells. There's to be no jokes around here, Mingy. I'm over the moon with Trafford. Didn't think he'd sign 40 million plus for a keeper that is in demand. His snip. But it sends a signal, shows intent. Get up. Underlappers unite. Vikings don't cry. Enaz, tough as old boots. True Geordie ain't too bad. I've no evidence of clickbait thumbnails. Behave yourself, Roger Slick. Get the binoculars out. See ya. Danny Borden, you're not wrong, mate. Operative. Edison, the keeper, is one. I think that won't be his fit, but again, we're on the Brazilian hype. Although, to be fair, we did that with Allison. But has Allison got like a normal name? Are you staying up for it, Lloyd Gittins? Yes, Chris Howarth, what's good, big man? Legend of the channel, dude. You can only hope so. Roger Slick. Yeah, he's wasteful on ball though, but he's brilliant to watch. He's extremely entertaining, isn't he? It will never MVG. Things to do, people to annoy. Be back later if you're on for the game. Take care, you lot. Much love to you all. Appreciate you, Mr. Whitesnake. You're a legend. Mr. Whitesnake, getting the love. Appreciate you, nice. Robinho the same as Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho is 51 and signed up to play. No, Robinho is not the same. You know it, MVG. The badge is in and on and over here. He's not on his plinth yet. Oh, he definitely did. He always does. You know me. Hey, comment at night, mate. Thank you for that. You are Danny Burden. Chopped tomatoes and a lashing of brown. Jack, we all need some love. Life's too short and people need to spread the love. You put effort into your channel and you deserve it. No, Southie, you're a legend, mate. Thank you, man, honestly. Thank you. You're a legend, mate. You're all legends. Get that badger in and on and over here. The airy crackling's in. We need Parag to step in and get Trafford over the line. And you know it. And don't forget it. Parag's hanging in the wings, much like Ena. Appreciate you, boys. I hope you're all right, Southie. Oh, should have asked me that at the start. Because I need a piss and we're closing up. I don't really know how good Gordon Strachan was when he was 25. I only know him from fucking being 37 or whatever at Leeds. So, you know, he was a boyo then, wasn't he? You can get it, Julian Airy. The power couple are in. It's on LUTV for a £5. Books there saying matches on Premier Sports too. So if you want to rob it, that'll be easily robbed, Julie. You can pay a £5 for it. I think I'll probably just MVG. You're probably right in your bones. Your instinct's probably right, dude. Right, boys, I'm going to do one. And I would say, I'd normally say Bob and Mimi, but there's only Julie up in this bitch. But I want to do a particular shout out to Southie, because he's fucking a ledge, mate, and I'm hoping he's alright. Shout out to Harley as well, who's had a rough couple of days. Well, and, you know, I don't know how long it's gone on for, to be fair, but my thoughts are with him. Oh, War Piglet slipping in there at end, the absolute monster. The Badger Plinth bonus, appreciate you, dude. Thank you, War Pigs. Shout out to Julian Airy as well, the power couple. Cheers, AO. Appreciate you, dude. MVG, you're a legend, mate. RPM. Roger Slicker. Enar in the wings. Danny Borden. Hairy Crackling. Hairy Crackling's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Mr. Whitesnake. The Mingalator. Luke. Peter White. We've had loads. In JLUFC. It's been a good night tonight, boys. Joe Depp, as always, on his holidays. Not another Leeds podcast. I'm going to try and get Danny on tomorrow, to be fair. I'm going to text him, so I do have a bit of time tomorrow. Red Bull Leeds United, JLUFC, Lloyd Gittins, BMG, the boys, the Right Reverend Right, my man Ming, Bucks, cheers, appreciate you, man. Let's beat Sunderland. Get Brett stuck up yet? Yes, Roger Slick. Take it easy, Peter White, thank you. Cheers, Lukey boy. Take it easy, everybody. I'm out of here. You'll know. We'll see. I might. There's definitely a shit vid tomorrow. I fucking assure you. Not a breakdown of the game. Nobody do it how he does it. If you don't know by now, you never knew. The legendary. Well, you don't have to, Roger Slick. You don't have to. Cheers, Ena. Take it easy, everybody.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.